the spraying in the skies that are going on every day. All that stuff is being done to us, fluoride in the water. We're dealing with utter psychopathic murderers, mass murderers, who believe are doing it for their own greater good, being the natural survivors.
We've now hit a jump point. They're clearly accelerating everything now.
Yes. They have to ram everything through, the whole new system. Remember what they kept saying in the last century, that the 21st century is the century of change. That was Obama's speech as well. He's another front man. It wouldn't matter who they put in, to be honest with you, as president. We all know that. They're front men. They don't change the banking system. They don't get right off the debt. They don't do any of those things. They work for the same system. And they have to bring this in. The century of change is where we're being taught that we must reduce our numbers. They're going to force us to reduce our numbers. They're going to force sterilization.
This is real for folks. This is not a game or a joke. Let's talk to Kay in Ohio. Kay, you're on the air.
Hey, God bless. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Ellen. You've done an outstanding continuity job of outlining the whole deal. And I can't thank you guys enough. Much admiration. Hey, I wanted to talk about the scientific dictatorship hooked up with the military-industrial complex. The problem also goes throughout China. The scientific community, a large portion of them have lost their moral, ethical compass. We established people like the...
They don't even have the Hippocratic Oath anymore, do no harm.
No, but what I'm saying is a large portion of the scientific community, and I say that about the biological, the chemical, and the technical people, have lost their moral ethic compass and standards, and we set up a lot of these people to uphold. And
I'm going to get Alan to talk about that.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
This is such an intense broadcast today. So much is happening. Alan Watt is our guest, and what about his statement about how they've removed morals? Yeah, they say there is no morals beyond good and evil, but then they tell you they're political correct morals that make you stand down and never stand up against them.
That's correct. It's do what thou wilt is the whole of the law at the top. Do whatever you want at the top, because you've got all that protection to safeguard you. You don't end up in court at the top, regardless of what you do. But for us down below, they've also destroyed pretty well all of the culture which binds you together for survival. Survival isn't an individual thing. It is a collective thing to an extent. We all came from tribes that came through hell and harsh winters and often starvation, but we did it as tribes. And that's how you get through things. When you break every bond, and that was what the attack was on, all bonds. Internationalism was to break national bonds and tribal bonds. And then you break the bonds of man and wife until really you have nothing left to bond for.
And you have the kids reporting on their parents. Let's jam in another call. James in Ohio, you're on the air. Okay, Eric in Georgia, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
How you doing?
We're doing all right. Worldwide broadcast. What's on your mind?
Well, first off, let me say David beat Goliath, by the way. But my question, I got two, one for you, one for Alan. Alan, how do we as a people even begin to try to defeat these people, because they have control of all the major weapons, of all the military? How do we even begin?
You begin with yourself. You cannot be in their worlds and try to be rational and an individual at the same time. So you conquer yourself. That's the first thing. You must get rid of your own programming. And then you perceive things much more clearly. Then you can put it across to other people of a similar ilk. That's your ability for self-preservation as well.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. Let me just throw this in. The Pentagon says 90% of war is psychological. You unlock your mind to their public blueprints. They think so little of you, their plan's all public. You look at this and realize this isn't fiction, this is real. And then once you see it, You unlock people's minds, it's over. And we don't need to get everybody, do we, Alan?
No, you don't. Again, too, remember what Mao Zedong said? He said he wasn't afraid of guns or weapons or bombs. He was afraid of someone with a good idea. That's what they're scared of. Someone with an idea that can put it across. And it catches on like wildfire.
No army can stand against an idea whose time has come.
Yep. And it's pure self-preservation now. We also have to purify ourselves because we're all contaminated with indoctrination and the separation of sex from bonding. That was one of the prime tenets too that Bertrand Russell said they'd have to do. That's what you're lapping up as entertainment. You're being corrupted as you do it. And you can't stand together if you have no one to stand with you.
God bless you, caller. I appreciate it. And I wanted to get to everybody else, but we're just out of time. Alan Watt, 1 minute to give us a summation.
Yes, so we're going into the final part of this battle. As you say, most of it is psychological. The war of terror is a psychological war. And the greatest writers on the Soviet system and all revolutions will tell you, in totalitarian systems, that they don't lose their grip until they become more liberal. That's when the people start to demand things, when the totalitarians become more liberal. These guys are rushing ahead to terrify the hell out of us, and we must not be afraid, no matter of what they throw at us. And when you become indignant about something, that's the start. You all become indignant. We've lost our ability to be indignant. And you don't have to wait for a crowd.
I'm going to have you back a lot sooner, cuttingthroughthematrix.com. Thank you for all your time. Folks, you have to be afraid for the species. We're all going to die, but the species goes on. You're part of something bigger. You should be afraid of not fighting this. I'm not worried about being destroyed, killed, demonized. I know Alan isn't. Commit. Never stop. We're all in this together. The police, the military, the system. You're with the people whether you like it or not. Join us. Alan Watt, thank you.